After completion of all the different software process models like waterfall model, incremental model, prototyping model, RAD model and spiral model. So the another model which we are going to see is concurrent model. So in concurrent model we can see that the entire software project is considered as a set of technical activities under which various tasks are carried out, and each task has got some associated states. So shortly it means that each of the activity is carried out or accomplished under certain states. So being a final year student, you must be knowing about Java, right? You must be knowing about Java applet. So whenever we want to run an applet, so it has to undergo certain steps like run, runnable, okay. Sometimes it needs to be halted. So these are some of the different states. So alike that, our software project undergoes certain states. So suppose our software project has got 4 modules. Each of the module, okay, is divided into a set of activities, and each of the activities are carried out or undergoes certain state. Okay, so for example, in spiral model we saw that each of the task was accomplished by performing prototyping, analysis, modeling, requirement specification and design. So these activities or these tasks were carried out when we want to solve or when we want to exhibit the spiral model. So alike that, in concurrent model, all the modules, or you can say that the entire software product is considered as a set of activities which has to undergo certain steps. So let us see the examples here. So this is the diagram which will indicate how the concurrent model works. So here you can see that there are various boxes. So each of the box represents a state over here. So you can see that we have under development state, then we have awaiting changes state, under revision, under review, baseline and done. So these are the different states. Followed? Okay, so now I will give you an example to know how does these state exactly works. So we all know that during the first phase, okay, so what is our first phase? So it is all about requirement collection. So after requirement collection, suppose let us consider our analyst has collected the information by interacting with the customer, right? And now that phase is under development. So requirement collection state is under the development. So once when these requirements are finalized, okay, so if these requirements are finalized and it is noted that all the information that has been collected with the customer interaction is correct, we can directly go for review state. Okay, once when we see that all the information collected from the customer is adequate or it is enough to go for the next phase, and then we go for the baseline phase. All right, so this is one form of state which goes from under development to under review state. So as per this example, let us consider one more state. Suppose the requirements are being collected from the customer, and we found that there is some information problem or there is a lagging of information where information has been skipped. So at that time it is kept at awaiting changes, where it is kept under waiting to review the changes. So after revision and after observing that all the changes are implemented, then it will go for under review state, and once when it clears that state, it will go to the baseline state, and then that activity is completed. So this analysis activity is nothing but what? It is a process where all the project activities has to undergo these states, and it depends. Okay, so if the information is clear or that process is clear, it may directly go for review. Sometimes it may get done easily, but sometimes there may be a need of awaiting changes, or there may be a need of going through revision. So in this way all these activities are carried out. Alright, now I will tell you one more example. Suppose we are at the design phase, right? Suppose we are at the designing phase, and we notice that there is some information missing in the design. Okay, we notice that there is some information which is missing in the design. Then this makes us to go back to the first phase. Okay, so what is our first phase? Analysis, right? So it makes us to go back to our first phase, that is analysis phase. Hence, during this situation, we can say that when the design is under development, by observing that there is some information missing during the design phase, it goes under awaiting changes. Hence, we again go back to analysis stage, and then we redesign it. Okay, once when the awaiting changes are revised and finally revived. All right. So this is another example where we can see that when the design was under development, it was kept under awaiting changes state because of the lack of information observed during analysis. Hence, after recollecting that information and again coming under development stage, so when all the information is obtained in the design, it will go for revision, and then only it is reviewed, and then finally that activity will be done. So this is one more example of how all the activities undergo certain states. So in concurrent model, okay, you can say that the activity analysis, it is nothing but any one of the states noted at a given time. Similarly, other activities can be represented in analogous manners. So all the project activities are carried out concurrently under different states. So this is the example of customer communication which I gave you. So after this first iteration, it goes into awaiting state. Okay. So why does it happens? If the customer indicates that changes in requirements must be made, the analysis activity moves from under development state into awaiting changes. When it is observed that the information collected after the customer communication is lagging behind, or some information is skipped, then only it will go to awaiting changing state, right? So the concurrent process model defines a series of events that will trigger transactions from state to state for each of the activity. So this model is basically used, or you can say that it is a transaction based and state based model where each transaction has to undergo certain states. Okay, once when it reaches to the done state, then only another activity in that module is carried out. Okay, one more example I gave you regarding design. So here we can see that again. For example, during early stages of design, an inconsistency in analysis model is uncovered. So this generates the event analysis model correction, which will trigger the analysis activity from done state into again awaiting changing state. So what it indicates, we are at the designing phase and we notice that certain information is uncovered during the analysis phase. So this makes us to again move back from done state to awaiting changes, then go for revision and then for review state. So during explanation you can just highlight these points, the activities, these two examples you can highlight when you want to cover regarding this model. So few more elaboration. See, this model is basically used for client server application. So this type of models are basically used when you can say that server or client applications are to be developed. Okay, so that too development is carried out in two dimensions. One is system dimension, another is component dimension. So system level issues are addressed using design, assembly and usage. The component design is addressed with two activities, that is design and realization. Okay, so the concurrent process model, you can say that it is often carried out for client server applications. Okay, so this is achieved in two ways. So what are these two ways? Let us see that. System and component activities occur simultaneously and can be modeled using state oriented approach described previously. So here the system refers to the issues that are carried out to the system. Components are the activities that are related to your project. A typical client server application is implemented with many components, each of which can be designed and released concurrently. So client server applications, you can say that basically these fall under the networking applications. Okay, so in these applications you can mainly focus on networking things, right? So in reality, the concurrent process model is applicable to all types of software development and provides an accurate picture of current state of a project. So as every activity has to undergo certain state, okay, so we can say that it is developed concurrently. So all the activities of your project are divided into certain states, right? And it has to each of your project activity has to undergo all the states. So once when it is reviewed and once when that activity is finalized, okay, then only we go to another activity in the module. So this process is carried out for all the activities that exist in your software or that exist in your module. So overall we can say that this type of models can be used for client server applications. Sometimes it is used for other type of development of softwares also. Okay, so this is all about your concurrent model. So please go through it and I will get back to you in the next session. Till then, bye bye.